All right, so you sent in a bunch of stuff about the Legend of Zelda. You're really trying to get a deep understanding of the series, huh?
Yeah, it's a franchise that's been around for decades, impacting games and capturing players for a long time.
There's definitely more to it than just liking the games. And the material you send in covers it all, from Miyamoto to open world games, and even the fans.
Yeah.
Where do we even start?
Wow.
I know. In 1986, when the first Legend of Zelda game came out on the NES, it was revolutionary.
Oh, yeah.
Most games back then were linear,
Yeah.
like a straight line.
Yeah.
But Zelda just dropped you into this world, Hyrule, and said, good luck.
Exactly. And it's interesting because that design choice wasn't random. It actually comes from Shigeru Miyamoto's childhood.
Really?
He grew up exploring the countryside in Japan. He would explore woods and caves and even this creepy tunnel.
Wait, creepy tunnel. Now I'm interested.
Oh, it's a great story. It really sparked his imagination, this sense of adventure and going into the unknown. And that same feeling is at the heart of every Zelda game, the freedom to explore and discover things on your own.
That's incredible for 1986.
Ah,
And you can tell it resonated with people. You even sent in articles and social media posts that praised Zelda for changing what a video game could be. It wasn't about getting high scores anymore, but exploring the world.
yeah. And that idea is still around today. Think of all the open world games out now, like Grand Theft Auto, The Witcher, and Elden Ring. They all were inspired by Zelda.
It's like Zelda changed how games are made. Now you feel like you're in the world, not just playing a game.
Right.
And speaking of Hyrule, you don't just walk around. You have to solve some of the best puzzles in video games.
For sure. Zelda is brilliant in its design. A lot of games have puzzles that feel like roadblocks,
Yeah.
but in Zelda, they're part of the world. They actually make exploring more fun.
You have simple puzzles and then complex environmental puzzles. You even included the water temple from Ocarina of Time in the materials you sent.
Oh, yeah.
That one still gives people nightmares.
It's tough, but that's part of what makes it so memorable. You're not just solving a puzzle, but you're learning how the world works, like how water flows and pressure works. And honestly, you can see that concept in a lot of games today, from platformers to puzzle games.
It's like Zelda taught game designers to make good puzzles instead of frustrating ones.
Hmm.
But honestly, we can't talk about Zelda without talking about Shigeru Miyamoto. He's like the Walt Disney of video games.
Uh-huh, yeah, that's a good comparison. Miyamoto created Hyrule, but his design philosophy is what makes Zelda so special. He believes that the gameplay is the story.
Wait, what does that mean? Gameplay is storytelling.
So instead of telling the story with cutscenes or dialogue, Zelda tells it through what the player does. Exploring a dungeon, solving a puzzle, or fighting a boss are all part of the story. You're not just watching the story, you are the story.
Whoa, that's really cool. And when I think about my favorite Zelda moments, they aren't the cutscenes. They're the moments I solve a puzzle or beat Ganon. It feels like my own personal story in the game.
Exactly, and that's not something many games did before Zelda. It's a design that has impacted a lot of games, not just adventure games. You can see it in RPGs and simulation games too.
It's like Miyamoto figured out how to make you feel like you're part of the world and not just a player. And Hyrule itself is like its own character.
Hmm.
You mentioned that Miyamoto was inspired by Japanese folklore and his childhood when he made it.
Yeah, he really liked the myths and legends from Japanese culture, like stories about spirits and hidden places. And he took those ideas and mixed them with his memories of exploring nature as a kid. And that's why Hyrule feels so unique. It's both familiar and magical.
Like a fairy tale, but with a Japanese twist.
Hmm.
And people all over the world love that mix of cultures. You even sent articles about how Zelda teaches players about Japanese culture.
Yeah, and it's not just one way.
No.
Zelda also takes inspiration from other cultures. It's a good example of how games can bring different cultures together.
So Hyrule is like a mix of different cultures, which makes it even more fun to explore. But you know what else is cool? How passionate the Zelda fans are. You sent in a bunch of stuff about that. It's amazing.
It's wild. You see everything from fan theories to people finishing the game as fast as possible to even recreating Hyrule in other games.
Wait, hold on. What's that about finishing the game quickly?
Oh, that's speedrunning, basically trying to beat a game as fast as you can.
Uh-huh.
And Zelda games are great for speedrunning because of the open world and how the game works. Some people even find glitches and shortcuts in the game to get faster times.
I've seen some of those videos. It's crazy. They break the game.
Exactly. But speedrunning isn't just about being fast. It's about understanding the game on a deeper level.
I see.
You need to know everything about the game, every little detail, every enemy, and how to use every item. It's like mastering Zelda.
That makes sense. And one of the studies you gave me talked about how the Zelda timeline being so complex makes fans want to talk about it even more.
Oh yeah, for sure. Nintendo never officially said when each Zelda game happens in the timeline. So
Okay.
fans always argue about when each game happens and make up their own theories. And sometimes those theories are even crazier than the games.
So it's like a huge puzzle that the whole fan base is working on together.
Yeah, kinda.
You even said some fans write essays about Zelda. Not just stories, but like real academic papers.
It's true. Zelda is being studied in colleges, like in literature, mythology, and even environmental ethics. People are writing about the meaning of the Triforce and nature in Hyrule.
Oh, wow. I can't believe a video game can make people think so much. It really shows how deep Zelda's story and world are. But honestly, none of this would matter if the games weren't fun, right?
You're right. Zelda is all about having fun, exploring, discovering things, and beating difficult enemies and puzzles. And everyone can enjoy that no matter how old they are or how good they are at games.
And you said that Breath of the Wild really changed open world games.
Hmm.
What made that game so special?
Well, it took the idea of open world to a whole new level. The world of Hyrule was massive, and you could go anywhere and climb anything. You could do things in any order you wanted. It gave you real freedom, something we hadn't really seen in games before.
So they took the best parts of Zelda games
Mm.
and put them in this huge world. And the way things worked in the game, the physics was amazing. It felt so real. You could set a forest on fire to make wind. You could use metal to conduct electricity and cook food to make yourself stronger. It was like magic.
And the sense of discovery was incredible.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild was full of secrets, shrines, side quests, and interesting characters. You were always rewarded for just looking around and exploring.
It felt like there was always something new to find.
Mm.
No wonder it won so many awards. And the sequel looks even better.
Definitely an awesome time to be a Zelda fan. And with the movie coming out soon, it looks like even more people are going to love Zelda.
I bet the movie will be amazing. And it'll introduce Zelda to a whole new group of people. It'll become even more popular. But I was thinking, we've talked a lot about Miyamoto, and he's a genius, but Zelda isn't made by just one person, right?
Of course not. There are tons of talented people who worked on Zelda over the years.
Right.
Artists, programmers, musicians, writers. It takes a lot of people to make a game like this.
Uh-huh. I like that. And all those different people are what makes Zelda feel fresh, even after all these years. Each new game has new ideas and perspectives.
Yeah, they're not afraid to try new things and take risks to keep the series going strong. And, it's not just the games that are important.
What do you mean?
You sent some stuff about how Zelda's influential in pop culture and other media, even in schools.
It's crazy to think that a game can inspire so much, from fan art to music to even academic research.
It shows you how powerful the story, the characters, and the world of Zelda are. It connects with people on a deep level.
It's like Zelda is a modern myth with heroes, villains, and legends. And that myth has become bigger than just games.
Exactly. You see Zelda references everywhere in movies, TV shows, books. It's become part of our culture.
It's like everyone knows what Zelda's about. Courage, adventure, good versus evil. Those themes are timeless.
Yeah, they'll always be important no matter how much technology changes or how games evolve.
At the end of the day, Zelda is about what it means to be human. Our desire to explore, to overcome challenges, and to be part of something bigger than ourselves.
Well said.
So we've covered a lot about Zelda, and it's obvious that this is more than just a game series.
Definitely.
It's a cultural phenomenon, a source of inspiration and an experience that has brought millions of people together.
I think we can agree that The Legend of Zelda is truly legendary,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to see what they do next with the series.
Me too. And to everyone listening, if you've never played a Zelda game, I really think you should. You might just find your new favorite game. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep the spirit of Zelda alive.